This is Sound and Vision from KEXP. Janelle Monáe dropped her latest album, The Age of Pleasure, on June 9th. Contributor Mia Imani has this review of Monáe's journey of sensuality, queerness, and joy.
Cyborg, android, D-boy, decoy, water, wisdom, tightrope, vision, insight, strong.
No, she isn't the same. With each album, Janelle has built entire worlds, pushed the limits of musical genres, and redefined her visual and sonic aesthetic. The Age of Pleasure feels like a departure from the sci-fi-driven futurist vision that typically colors her albums. Every project existed as part of the same constellation. That is what drew me to Monáe's music. It always felt like I was listening to music that must have fallen out of starry skies. Maybe I wasn't the only black weirdo daydreaming about other worlds.
No, I'm not the same.
Janelle Monáe's presence has always been eccentric. The allure has been around her uniqueness rather than focused on her sexuality or sensuality. Not to say her sexuality was oppressed, it just wasn't a focus in the universe she was sharing with us. If the album's title, The Age of Pleasure, wasn't enough to show a shift has occurred, the first track, Float, sets the tone for this new phase in their life. This is a time of celebration, love, parties, and pleasure. The viral and social pandemics in these last couple of years have been difficult for us all to navigate. Being a Black creative meant you were expected to use your platform to process what was happening, especially if you wanted to get funding or attention for your work, which isn't fair. It's enough to live through the pain. Black creatives should be allowed to create projects that exist outside of trauma narratives. In this record, Janelle made something just for her and her community to heal and be proud. In it, she's alive, playful, and sexy. Maybe it's the expansiveness of the brass and big band energy, but Champagne is pulsing with self-confidence. It's a declaration of enjoying earthly pleasures, starting with the celebratory bubbles we all love.
Now shake it all up. Move your little hips. Back it ass up. And do that little skip. It's all in her hips. It's all in them hips. She got them nipples in her back. And I'm on my champagne shit.
Champagne flows directly into the next song, Black Sugar Beach. This song sets the stage for the soundscape of the entire album. It taps into the different frequencies and textures of the Black diaspora. The next three tracks, Phenomenal, Hot, and Ooh La La, are my holy trinity of self-love.
I'm looking at 1,000 versions of myself. And we're all fine as
It seems like a rite of passage for most Black queer creatives, where one's sexuality can be addressed without being seen as an artist who only cares about sex. You should be able to live pleasurably without apologizing or needing to filter your choices because people are afraid it will negatively influence their children. Can't we just lead a life where our lifestyle choices lead to feeling more attractive?
serving sexy girl.
She's so red, they wanna meet her soft things. So they wanna be her, take me in and baby, take me deeper. Take me deeper, take me deeper. She's a mystic, sexy creature. Ooh, she goes and I'm a keeper. She's a god and I am a believer.
In Ooh La La, there's a cameo by Grace Jones, sultrily speaking French, and I'm completely sold on this new reality.
Ah oui, qu'est-ce que tu fais tous les deux là? Viens avec moi tous les deux. C'est ton ami?
Lipstick Lover and The Rush feel like the birth of Black Venus, mislifting from the ocean as Janelle emerges in her full form. The French 75, Water Slide, Know Better, and Pain and Pleasure feel like a journey that was blessed by dancehall pioneer Sister Nancy. She's featured in one of those tracks. It's the outro of the French 75. is the part of the album where if you weren't already dancing, it's time to move beyond the auntie two-step.
If you have to, why? If you have to, all of the girls then. If I could touch me right here, right now, I would do that. Looking in the mirror at me, my God, like who that?
The album ends in the key of romance. After the sun has set, the stars and moon are illuminating those feelings that have been stirring up during that day in paradise. Only Have Eyes for Two extends the meaning of the classic song, I Only Have Eyes for You. This whole album is a journey of sexual expression and adventure, and sometimes that means exploring multiple options at once. Yes, the album's composition isn't as experimental as previous works that feel like they live in an alternative reality or another planet. But the age of pleasure feels brighter. It sounds like summer, feels like silk, and smells like star jasmine right after it blooms. Where you usually find alter egos and memoirs of androids from another world, here you find Janelle and her present reality, one of sensual simplicity. Monáe will be gracing Seattle's WAMU stage on August 30th. Until then, let this be your go-to summer album. For KEXP, I'm Mia Imani.
Ever since the summer. Ever since the summer. Ever since the summer.
That was Sound and Vision. If you like what you hear on the show, please do me a huge favor and just take 2 minutes of your time to help spread the word. Share an episode that you loved with a friend, write a review, subscribe to this podcast, and rate this podcast. Those little things really do go a long way. And also, if you want to help financially contribute to the show, a show that comes from KEXP, a publicly funded station, you can do so by giving a one-time $20 donation at kexp.org/sound. Thanks for listening.